Hello everyone, my name is Anahita and today I am going to read you a story called What's Luck Got to Do With It by Sudha Murthy. Ravi was a simple and self-sufficient farmer. Her farming, however, depends on a lot on rain and doesn't always fetch enough money. His wife, Alka, was unhappy about this fact. She would often compare herself to others and say, "Oh, my husband doesn't earn much, I'm so unlucky." One day, Alka went to the market to buy vegetables. At a vendor's cart, she saw a lady approaching the vendor, her assistant in tow. Alka stared at the woman's jewelry and her fine silk sari. The vegetable vendor didn't even care to speak to Alka. He attended to the rich lady first. After she left, Alka asked the vendor, "Who is she?" "Don't you know? She is the wife of the royal astrologer who predicts the future and finds missing things in the king's court," said the vendor. Alka came home, fuming. She turned to her husband, frustrated. "Look at my life. Even the vegetable vendor doesn't respect me, even though I'm a regular customer. I think you should become an astrologer." "How can I? I don't know anything about astrology," said Ravi. There's nothing to it. Roll the dice and say whatever comes to your mind," said Alka, and kept insisting that he try it. After a few days, a helpless Ravi agreed. Dressed as an astrologer, he carried a dice and sat near the crossroads in the market. Nobody looked in his direction or approached him at first. However, after a few hours, a lady came and said, "Sir, my husband gave me a precious ring, but I have forgotten where I kept it. If I don't find it, I will be in great trouble. Please help me locate the ring." Ravi started to sweat. He didn't know what to do or what to say. He cast the dice and a number came up. Suddenly, he thought that the dice looked like a small matchbox. He said to himself, It looks like a matchbox." As soon as the lady heard him mutter those words, she turned around and ran home. After an hour, she came back and gave him a gold coin. "What a prediction you made! I placed the ring in a matchbox and completely forgot about it. I went home and found it. Thank you so much." Ravi took the coin and went home. Alka was ecstatic. "I told you so, didn't I? You wouldn't have earned a gold coin even if you had farmed our land for a full year." "It was simply a matter of chance. I said something absent-mindedly while looking at the dice, but she mistook the words for a prediction and found what she was looking for. Alka, I'd rather work in the fields where I know what I am doing. I do not want to go sit in the market tomorrow." Alka, however, was stubborn. She didn't listen to her husband and forced him to agree to go to the market again the next day. Meanwhile, the very night, 40 boxes of jewels were stolen from the palace. The king was furious. He called a royal astrologer and ordered him, "Find out who has taken the treasure and where it is. I want an immediate answer." The royal astrologer couldn't come up with any details and informed the minister about his inability to find out who the robber was. When the king was informed about this, a courtier stood up and said, "Sire, my wife met an astrologer near the market crossroads. She praised him greatly. It seems he is very good." The king summoned Ravi to his court immediately. "Yesterday, 40 boxes of jewels got stolen from the treasury. Tell me, who has them and when will I get them back? If you don't provide the right information, I will throw you in jail indefinitely." The king commanded Ravi. Ravi began to sweat with nervousness and cursed Alka quietly in his mind. He had never imagined he'd be caught in such a dangerous scenario. He cast the dice and pretended to calculate something in his mind. The king demanded, "Tell me now, where are the 40 boxes?" Ravi heard 40 and mumbled, "40 people." "What? 40 boxes were taken by 40 people," said Ravi, committing to what he had said earlier. The royal astrologer couldn't even figure out that much. "Which direction are these thieves headed?" "I need 40 days," said Ravi, knowing that anything more could land him in jail. I don't have so much time." "I require 40 days, sire," said Ravi. "I require 40 days, sire," said Ravi. That's what is being said to me. I cannot help it." Fine. Come back to me within 40 days and with the 40 boxes, or you will find yourself in jail for life." Ravi went back home, scared to death. He told Alka what had happened. Alka felt terribly sorry. "Oh my God, my greed and ego are the cause of all your troubles. If you go to jail, it will be my fault," she cried. She wept and sobbed and tried to think of a solution but couldn't see a way out. Ravi was in a somber mood. He took his favorite treat from the storeroom, dates. He counted 40 and put them in a box. "Alka," he said with sadness in his heart, "if I have to go to jail in 40 days, I want to enjoy a date each before that happens. After 40 days, I will go back to the king's court to face the consequences." The truth was, in fact, that there were 40 thieves who each took one box from the jewels of the king's treasury. The news of the new astrologer reached them through their spy in the king's court. The leader of the thieves said, "Don't worry, my men. I don't think this Ravi can trace us. But to be safe, let's hold on to the treasure for 40 days. Moving it around at this time increases the risk of us getting caught." The men, however, were worried. "Sir, I will go and investigate Ravi's plans today," one of the thieves announced. The leader gave him permission to do so. The man climbed up the terrace of Ravi's house. Before he could peep in, he heard a voice. "You have 40 days, dear husband. Wait till then." Ravi replied. "What did you say?" asked Alka. Ravi ate a date and sighed. He said, "One is finished, 39 are left." Without waiting to hear more, the thief ran away and came and reported back to the leader. "Sir, I climbed the terrace on the astrologer's house and he said one is finished, 39 are left. He knew I was there, so I ran away." The leader was curious. He said, "Okay, 2 of you must go to this house tomorrow." Meanwhile, Alka was miserable with the situation her husband was in. He had neither the knowledge of astrology nor any power. She felt sorry that she had pushed her husband to pretend to be her astrologer and apologized to him several times. "Perhaps I should go and tell the king the truth," she suggested. "Even if you do, no one will believe you. People really think that I am an established astrologer. Alka, life would have been so much better and happier if we had just kept a low profile and led a free life as farmers." Alka sobbed bitterly. The 2 men climbed the terrace of Ravi's house the next day. Before they could peep inside, they heard a man's voice say, "2 are finished, 38 are left." Ravi had eaten the second date. Without waiting to hear more, the thieves ran away. They too came and reported to the leader. Sir, we climbed the terrace of the astrologer's house, and he said two are finished, 38 are left. He knew we were there, so we ran away. The leader again was curious. He said, "Okay, 3 of you must go to this house tomorrow." This continued until the 40th day, when the leader too also went to Ravi's house. All the men went to Ravi's house. Before they could peep inside, they heard a man's voice say, "All 40 are finished, Alka, and now there is no escape." "What did you say?" asked Alka. "Done. They are finished. I will go to the king's court right now and report back," he said. Seconds later, there was a knock on the door. "I know why you have come," said Ravi, thinking that the king's guards had come to escort him to the king or the jail. When he opened the door, the leader of the thieves fell down at his feet and said, "Please save us. We are thieves, not murderers. If the king learns that we are responsible for the robbery, he will hang us." "Do you have all the treasure?" said Ravi, trying to hide his astonishment. "Yes, sir. We have the 40 boxes. Once we heard about you and the waiting period of 40 days, we decided to wait and see." "In that case, keep all the boxes under the big banyan tree on the outskirts of my village and go back into hiding. I will take care of the rest," said Ravi. The leader agreed, relieved. The next day, Ravi sent word to the king through a letter. The note read, "Sire, I have found information about the treasure, but due to the limitations of my powers, I can only give you one bit of information, either the location of the treasure or the location of the thieves. What would you like to choose?" Even though he had sent a note, Ravi was terrified. Though logic dictated that the king would be inclined to choose the location of the treasure, Ravi wondered what he would do if the king decided to choose the location of the thieves instead. He spent the day in suspense. A day later, the king sent his reply. "I want the treasure," said the note. Ravi thanked his stars and sent back another note. "I have located the treasure and used my powers to transport the boxes under the ground of the big banyan tree on the outskirts of my village." The king sent his soldiers, and after a little digging, they found the 40 boxes of treasure. Nothing was missing. The king was pleased and invited Ravi to his court. There, the king said, "I want to offer you the position of the royal astrologer. You can start today." Ravi knew that he must not fall into this trap again. He said, "No, sire. I have spent all my energy and days tracing these 40 boxes of treasure. I will not be able to predict anything in the future. I am not fit to be a royal astrologer now." The king nodded. He felt sorry for Ravi and said, "I will never meet someone like you again, so I would like to present you with one box of the treasure as a gift." Ravi thanked him and left the court as quickly as possible. Alka and Ravi now live a content and peaceful life for the rest of their days. Thank you.